Hip mobility circuit. Super great exercise if you're sitting all day and you haven't really been moving, right? Super important that we activate and mobilize our hips before loading any weight, which can create further injury. No bueno. We don't want that. For this exercise circuit, we're going to start with our feet together about hip distance apart. We're going to hinge at the hips, reach those hips back like there's a string pulling my hips all the way to the wall. It's pulling me back, right? Reaching back with those hips, reaching those arms forward as much as you can. Biceps are right here by my ear. Reach, 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 reach. Oh yeah, let's go. We want to make sure that our knees are not going in. Hips, knees, and ankles stay in the same exact line. Reach. Oh yeah. Now from here, we're going to take a deep breath in as we reach further, and then we're going to exhale as we reach down for our toes. Then we're going to separate the feet, and we're going to go into a deep squat here. My elbows are going to be prying my knees open as my chest, my heart stays open, my back is nice and straight. And we're going to hold it for a little bit and stand back up. I promise the more you do these, the easier it gets. Mark my words. I'm going to show you one more time. Hip hinge. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, touch your toes. Separate your feet. We're going to go into a deep squat here. Keeping the back nice and flat as you can, prying your knees open with your elbows. And hold for 3, 2, 1. Stand back up. Tall plank, knee drops. We're going to start in a tall plank here. Feet are going to be shoulder width apart here, a little bit wider. So we have a nice strong base. We want to make sure that our head is all the way straight with our heels. So our hips are not going up high. They're not going down low. They're nice and neutral here. Then we're going to drop our knees and bring them back up, keeping our core engaged the whole time. Make sure that your knees drop together. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Gaze straight ahead. Few more of these. Let's go. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But it's not, and you're here. That means you want the challenge. Lateral leg raises. For this exercise, you can always hold on to something if you need to, so you can hold on to a wall here or a pole for balance. Otherwise, I recommend not to hold on to something because it engages your core a lot better. So we're going to start by bending the left knee slightly, lifting the right leg up. Now we're going to bring our right leg out to the side, keeping our toes facing forward. Common mistake is people will do this. So just make sure you're looking at yourself in the mirror and that your right toes are facing forward, right in front of you. Oh yeah, so this is working the glutes. The left glute has to stabilize, and then the right glute is constantly being worked. We want glutes, not even for just aesthetics. Our glutes can also help with our posture and keep us upright and prevent us from having osteoporosis in the future or any hip fractures. Glutes save lives. V-up alternating knee raises. We're going to start with our hands right here behind our hips, about 3 inches away from our hips. We want to try to keep the back as straight as we can, so not collapsing through the shoulders or the back, keeping it nice and straight. Now we're going to lift our knees up off the ground. We're going to drop our right heel down, and then we're going to bring it back up. We're going to drop and bring it back up. Left heel goes down and bring it back up. Right heel down, back up. To make this harder, move your legs further away from each other. So as far back as you can, keeping your leg extended makes it a lot more challenging. You can also lift your arms up. Lots of ways to make this challenging. The key, you're not rounding your back, you're keeping it nice and flat. Do what suits you. You know your own fitness level, and I just want to make sure that you're challenging yourself, but not too much where you're compensating. That's a big no-no. When performing this exercise, I also recommend looking at yourself in the mirror. That way you can see if you're folding at the back, if you're rounding your shoulders, so that you can fix your posture. You got it. Modified version of a hollow hold. Let me show you how it's done. We're gonna start by laying on our back. We're gonna bend the knees here and we're gonna lift the legs up just a little bit, keeping a slight bend in the knee. Now, do you see how there's like an arch in your low back? I want you to do the best you can to flatten your back into the ground so it's nice and flat and there's no arch anymore. You're gonna lift your arms up and you're gonna keep that press of the back into the ground. And you're gonna lower your legs just a little bit. But as soon as you lose that like flattening on the back and your back starts to arch, it means that you moved your legs too far down. So you're just gonna lift it back up. And just hold right here. I'm lifting my shoulder blades off the ground. I'm keeping my back flat. I'm trying to really squeeze those tummy muscles in. If you feel like your abs are shaking, you're definitely on the right track. Modified bike crunches. Let's do this thing. We're gonna start with a slight bend in the knees. Then we're gonna go up on our heels here. Our back is nice and straight. Our core is sucked in. Hands are gonna go here behind your head. You're gonna bend your left knee, bring it in towards your chest. You're gonna crunch with your right elbow and lower the left heel back down. Right knee goes up and back down. And just keep alternating. Keeping that back straight. We're not going like this, right? Nice and tall. We're confident. Our heart is shining up. We don't want to hide our heart. We want to show it. It takes courage. It's hard. But we wear our heart open. We show it off to the world. Oh yeah. Lots of life metaphors here. You got it. This is too challenging for you and you're noticing that your back is rounding. Bring your knees in closer to you. Makes it a little bit easier. Your hip flexors are also going to be working right here, right in front of the hips. Boom, boom, boom. Sumo squat with an upright row. Let's go. We're gonna start with our feet nice and wide here. This is a sumo squat position. Dumbbells are gonna go right in front of you. I have like a moderate weight. 8 pounds is more than enough. I could go heavier, but for the purpose of this exercise, I'm gonna keep it at 8. So we're gonna squat down. We're gonna make sure our knees are in line with our ankles. They're not going super far in. They're in line, keep them wide. Now, keeping your back nice and straight here, we're gonna lift back up. Upright row, same thing. Take a deep breath in. And then as you stand back up, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Go to your happy place or just feel powerful here. You are powerful. The most important thing is that we're keeping our back nice and straight and we're pushing through with our glutes. Deadlift with a row. A little bit of a compound exercise, but we like to make it a little bit challenging and work out the brain at the same time. We're gonna start with our feet together here. We're going to first go into a hip hinge. So sticking those glutes out here. Now from here, we're going to row the weight and then we're gonna stand back up, squeezing the glutes. And hinge at the hips, keeping that back nice and straight, rowing down to your hips, stand back up. Same thing. I always like to look at a mirror, and the mirror really helps me with my form so that I can see if I'm rounding the back. Another thing to note here is that our knees are staying in alignment with our hips, knees, and ankles, and they're not going in. Inhale during the easiest part of the movement and exhale during the hardest. So take a deep breath in and then exhale as I come down. Alternating reverse lunge with a single arm Arnold press. We're going to have our elbows here at 90 degrees and we're going to step back with our right knee. And then as you bring that right knee to the ground, you're going to lift your left arm up so it's fully extended and switch. Making sure our core is nice and engaged. A little bit of coordination It's also working the brain. Super great exercise. Core, shoulders, legs, and brain. It's always good to work multiple muscles. Not only is it functional, but you're actually burning more calories, which means more weight loss. That's what we want.